Boyfriends and gym buddies, Taehyung and Jungkook never cease to amaze us with every appearance they share, especially when it's a gym vlog like Misunho's, where their energy is impossible to ignore. Every time we see them together, it becomes a powerful reminder of how much they convey, not only as artists but as a couple. Seeing Taekook at the gym always stirs emotion because that's when we naturally appreciate how strong, muscular, handsome, and confident they are, and at the same time how much they enjoy being around each other. This contrast between physical discipline and emotional tenderness is what keeps the public admiring every detail, because their every gesture holds a deeper meaning than meets the eye. In this same context, we also had a moment that became especially talked about, when Namjoon mentioned Taehyung and Jungkook in a very clear and sincere way. He said that Taehyung is now bigger than him, while recalling that Jungkook has always been enormous. It wasn't just a casual comment, but also a confirmation of the obvious. Taehyung has grown, changed physically, and gotten stronger, while Jungkook remains the imposing figure of energy and resilience we all know. The interesting thing is that hearing it from someone as close as Namjoon, the image of Taekook as a power couple on and off stage becomes even stronger. Meeting Namjoon is inevitable. Taekook can drive us crazy just by appearing next to each other. Just seeing them share the same space is enough to change the energy and make everything seem more exciting. Among those details that give us a glimpse into the essence of their relationship, there was one moment that caught the attention of many and became a favorite. It happened while Jungkook was training hard, putting all his energy into every movement. At that moment, Taehyung approached him with impressive ease, and without needing to say anything, he gently placed his hand on Jungkook's shoulder. It was as if with that action Taehyung was telling Jungkook, "You are not alone, I am here with you, you can lean on me." Jungkook's reaction confirmed everything. Just feeling that touch, his breathing calmed a little, his body found a second wind, and his strength returned. That moment, although brief, showed us that behind the image of strong and confident idols, there is a genuine love that is expressed in the simplest moments. It is there where Taekook's true greatness is revealed, knowing how to support each other in the midst of any circumstance. Every time we remember that scene, it becomes more evident that Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship doesn't need grandiloquent words to express itself, because it is the gestures, the looks, and the silent actions that speak the loudest. And if a single movement, like a hand on a shoulder, can convey calm, love, and absolute support, then there's no doubt that what you share is real and profound. The way Taekook loves and admires each other over these 10+ years is truly incredible. It's one of the most beautiful things anyone could ever see, and a testament to the fact that when love is genuine, nothing can weaken it over time. Nothing has changed over the years, because the way Taehyung and Jungkook look at each other remains exactly the same, only deeper, and filled with a connection that no longer needs words. They look at their entire universe, contemplate it from that unique connection that only they know, and fall in love again and again, as if every day were the first time they discovered how they felt about each other. A love like Taekook's is what we all dream of having and experiencing, because it's not just a passing bond, but a union that transcends and leaves a mark on all who witness it. I've already said that Mansunho's vlog with Taekook's boyfriends will never leave our minds, and I truly can't get over what it represents to all of us who closely follow their story. The love between them and the way they admire each other was portrayed so naturally that it's impossible to erase it from our memories, because there, in those small scenes, you can see how authentic their relationship is. This immediately reminds me of those beautiful moments when Taekook exposed himself without filters, showing his love in such an adorable way that made us understand that he doesn't need grand words to express it. Every detail in that vlog seems like a reminder of how strong their bond is, and the truth is, the more we watch it, the more we realize that their relationship only grows and strengthens over time. And this is where everything becomes even more evident, because what for many might be a simple everyday record, for them is a way of saying I love you without saying it. Taehyung, while filming, couldn't stop thinking about how sexy his baby Jungkook is, and it showed in his eyes, in the way he followed him with his gaze, as if he were enthralled by his every move. We totally understand you, Taehyung, because Jungkook is truly so handsome and so sexy that just looking at him makes it impossible not to fall in love with him over and over again. There's something about his bearing, the natural way he carries himself, that makes him irresistible, and that doesn't go unnoticed by his fans, much less by the person who loves him the most. But the same goes for Jungkook, because he's completely lost in the love he feels for Taehyung, and not only can he not stop admiring his beauty, but his eyes give him away and expose how madly in love he is with his Taehyung. His gazes are so intense that they seem to speak a language of their own, one that needs no translation, and what they reveal goes far beyond what anyone could express with words. What comes next won't be erased from your memory, because those glances are like a silent testimony of what they feel. I get goosebumps every time I think about the way Jungkook looks at Taehyung, because his eyes speak louder than 1,000 words, and their brilliance seems to contain everything left unspoken. In those moments, one can understand without needing explanation that theirs isn't simple affection, but a deep and genuine devotion. The taekooks are truly adorable, and what's most moving is that this love is in their eyes, in every gesture they share, and we saw it once again in the gym vlog. The way they look at each other in that everyday place becomes a silent spectacle, because the love and admiration are there, intact, piercing their gazes like an impossible-to-hide reflection. Nothing has changed over the years, on the contrary, that connection has grown stronger and deeper with each passing day, as if time only cemented what was always meant to be. And here's the most beautiful thing, what many think wears thin over the years actually intensifies in them, and each new glance, each gesture of love, confirms to us that their love not only endures, but flourishes. In many of the filmed moments, Taehyung and Jungkook have displayed such a natural closeness that it seems they're in their own world, a universe where they don't need to speak to understand each other and where every movement echoes in the other, as if they shared an invisible language that no one else understands. Their bodies react with such instinctive coordination that it's hypnotic to watch. If one moves, the other follows without hesitation. If one touches, the other responds immediately. These are gestures that at first glance might seem small and insignificant, but when you look closely, they reveal immense weight, as if every action were loaded with meaning. It doesn't matter if they're in front of the cameras, under the bright lights of a stage, or surrounded by thousands of expectant people. They do it without thinking, as if the rest of the world disappeared, as if nothing else existed around them but that silent, seemingly unbreakable connection. While filming, Taehyung couldn't stop thinking about how sexy his baby Jungkook is. That attraction enveloped him irremediably and was reflected in his eyes so evidently that it was impossible to ignore. It was the way he followed him with his gaze, the intensity with which he observed every gesture, every movement, as if he were enthralled, trapped in a spell that kept him hypnotized. And Jungkook, with that natural bearing and that carefree way of presenting himself to the world, achieves something that few can, making people look at him and be left speechless. We totally understand you, Taehyung, because Jungkook is truly so handsome and so sexy that just looking at him makes it impossible not to fall in love with him again and again. There's something about his presence that can't be explained by beauty alone. It's that mix of strength and sweetness, of confidence and vulnerability, that makes anyone who looks at him feel trapped in a web of charm from which there's no escape. And the most curious thing is that this magnetism doesn't go unnoticed by anyone, not by the fans who follow him every step of the way, and much less by the person who loves him the most and who looks at him with an impossible-to-disguise devotion. The most revealing aspect of the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook isn't a single gesture or a single isolated glance, but rather the sum of all those moments that are repeated over and over again and, when put together, form a complete picture, almost like an emotional puzzle that only makes sense when observed calmly. At first glance, it might seem like coincidences, spontaneous moments that arise without thinking, but when you look closely, you discover something more, an invisible structure behind each action, a kind of repeating pattern that leaves no room for doubt. taekooker don't just display isolated gestures. What they have is an emotional routine, a series of movements and reactions that are automatically triggered whenever they are near each other, as if their bodies remember what they should do even before their minds process it. And that repetition isn't just any old thing. That constant repetition is what turns their relationship into something more intimate, a habit shared only by the two of them, a shared secret that pulsates in every glance and every touch. It's right there where their story ceases to be a coincidence and begins to feel like a truth that needs no words to be understood.